including interest, motive, and power. A quick reminder that what looked like a position of strength could rapidly deteriorate and chances depreciate. This period, more than anything, affords interest groups, ambitious politicians, civil society advocates, the electorates, and stakeholders the opportunity to reassess themselves, recalibrate their principles, and redefine their stance on topics of national importance like the electoral bill, constitutional amendment, security, economy, and what have you. The Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, and member representing Bende Federal Constituency, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu, PhD, CFR, has continued to harp on the need for Ndibo to align with people from other regions in order to secure a futuristic position of prominence and success in the nation's political sphere. How feasible is that? We will answer that question probably by the end of the program. Before we get to speak to my guest and before I unveil him and have this discussion get underway, the Deputy Speaker held a media parley recently where he talked about the essence of politicians and Southeasterners aligning with people from other regions of the country. Take a listen.
Embrace other sections of this country. Stop talking down on the Hausas and the Fulanis and the Yorubas and the Ethnics and the Videos. Stop talking down on people. The loudest on social media are the Igbos. And what are they saying? Insults, pulling down, castigating, fighting. It's not supposed to be so. We should embrace one another. We should relate with one another. We should partner with one another. That is what national cohesion is all about. And that is the truth. So I encourage, like now, the power is in the southern political corridor. The man who is in charge is from the southern political corridor. This is the time to solidify. It's time to shake hands with the southwest family. So that when the time comes that we need a handshake, they will reciprocate. But if we stay here and throw stones from morning till night, they are watching. When it is your time, they will partner with those who partner with them. It's all about partnership. Who are we partnering with as Igbos now? Because the Igbos alone cannot make themselves president. Buhari tried it, bless his soul. He felt that the North can give him presidency. He tried so many times, he couldn't do it. It was when he shook hands across to another region, it was possible. Can we forget the past and begin to reach out? Can we embrace other parts? Politically, I'm not talking about business. Business, we do business with every part of Nigeria. We are everywhere. We want to go to politics. We need the strategy of partnership at home. But we can partner with Dangote and not remember that it's from the north in business. We can partner with the federal in business and we don't remember it's from the southwest. But when it comes to politics, we drop our partnership strategy at home and we begin to look at sentiments and emotions as a people. And it ought not to be. The same way we partner with other regions, the same way we feel free to go and live in other regions, because I commend the Igbos, we are the best who can feel free in any part of the country. We are nationalistic in our approach. We are everywhere. The same way we are everywhere for the sake of business, can we be everywhere for the sake of politics? The same way we love the communities we go to do business in, can we love the people and the communities around the country when it comes to political leadership? The same way we have confidence to match any community and start our shop, our businesses, and serve them and just pay us. Can we have the same, that's courage to embrace each other in politics? If we do that, that will be the time the development, the political development of the Southeast will return to what it used to be in the days of Azikiwe and all the people who played major roles in our political sphere. So, along with his service, and we are all asking that the president come back and finish what he has started, because he is doing well, globally acknowledged. Indices that are there, World Bank, and all the global agencies, they know that we are a stop, but we're marching towards the right direction. The foundation we have laid, we don't think we finish it, so that anybody coming on board will carry it from there. And the person who is going to replace him will be decided by Nigerians. Having said that, the issue of price peak.
AP
Experience the smooth and strong feeling that consistently surpasses expectation. Leading the way in high-performance lubricants, Master Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium. Experience the smooth and strong feeling that consistently surpasses expectation. Leading the way in high-performance lubricants, Master Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium. Experience the smooth and strong feeling that consistently surpasses expectation. Leading the way in high-performance lubricants, Master Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium. Experience the smooth and strong feeling that consistently surpasses expectation. Leading the way in high-performance lubricants, Master Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium.
Introducing ABN Radio and Television, your new favorite app. Stay informed, entertained, and connected with the latest news, music, and videos from Nigeria and beyond. Download the ABN Radio and Television app now on Google Play and enjoy. Live streaming of news, sports, music, and entertainment programs. On-demand access to your favorite shows and podcasts. Breaking news updates and notifications. Exclusive videos and interviews. Personalized experience with customizable settings. Get started in 3 easy steps.
I appreciate you for leaving your dial on this frequency modulated band. It is still Ben Kalu'S Mandate. Like I told you that upon return, I will introduce my guest and we get this conversation underway. Don't forget that we are live on Facebook, facebook.com/Flow949FM. And when it's time as well, the phone lines will be open to have you join the conversation. I have joining me virtually now, Chief Eric Ikwagu, the former State Publicity Secretary of the PDP, but now of the APC. Good morning to you and thank you for joining the conversation, Chief Eric.
Good morning, my brother. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Chief Eric, you were formerly of the PDP. In fact, you held a strategic and sensitive position here in the state as part of the leadership group of the People's Democratic Party. But as we speak, you've dumped the PDP for the APC. Can you be kind enough to tell us why the realignment?
Well, it is no longer news that the entire country is realigning the vision of the renewal the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is no longer news that a man who has taken the very tough policy of reforming and making sure the economy is stable has been able to transform country from a country that backed up monthly billions and billions of naira to billions of naira to maintain to support the value of the naira, and now the naira is gaining strength on its own monies that were used. It actually used to up the value of the naira. It's been introduced to the states, for infrastructure around and the welfare of the people. So it's only common that a man like me, who was before in a political platform that became unstable, riddled with leadership crisis, take a plunge to a very stable platform where my political aspiration and dreams are achieved. It is better to be in a platform that you know your destination, than a platform that is very unstable and the leadership, protracted leadership crisis of the PDP is not abating today or tomorrow, because they just had the first court judgment after a long while, and we know before in the next 6 months we'll be talking about the primary election. So if it is going to move all the way from the first court of instance to the Supreme Court, it's only normal to look at a political party that aligns with my ideology as a human being, that can really, live up to the yearnings of Nigeria, not looking at the political capital, to be gotten from raising falsehood. But a man, a party that takes tough decisions for the betterment of the country in the long run. So after consultation and looking around the options available, I decided to pitch my tent with the APC, and I think that is the best political decision I've made in my life, and I'm here to stay for the very long haul.
I mean, so you are saying it's more about the policies of the president, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led federal government, than it is about the crisis in your party and the fact that the party that once held sway in the state is probably a shadow of its former self.
Yeah, this is a combination of all. Like, I wouldn't have been talking about the APC under the former president, the late President Buhari. I wouldn't have been talking because I didn't, align with his economic policies, and it took us to where we are today, which the political dexterity and the achievement of the current president is digging us out of the political hole, an economic hole that we were dug into. The World Bank, the monetary IMF, they're all singing praises and commending the tough policies of the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I'm talking about the current APC, not the APC of yesterday. And then when my political platform started shaking because of protracted leadership crisis, the only available for me, if it wasn't for President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who I believe in his economic policies, I might not be talking about the APC. So the APC is a veritable platform today for people who really understand the policy, who really understand what it takes to build an economy. Because before now, if you agree with me, companies were leaving the country in droves because they were not able to repatriate their funds. The naira was very unstable because every other month, billions of naira, like I said before, was used to support the value. Then so what we had there was a fake pseudo value of naira. So it took who understands this thing to allow the naira to what they call on its own, okay, liberalizing the exchange rates and allow naira fall on its own to gain strength in the market. There is pseudo what they call the pseudo support of the naira, which the exchange rate was better, but it wasn't transforming. The governors were unable to pay salaries.
Okay.
Despite the fact that
Chief Eric, we will get to the point. We will get to the point where I would want your honest assessment of the policies of the president. And I wish you would work with me in this journey. Let me take you a couple of steps backward. Your former party now, the PDP, held sway at the center, if I'm not mistaken, from around 1999 to around 2015. Before your party now, the APC, knocked them off their perch. And you have sung the praises of the president so far, being specific to say it's because of the current APC under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What is that silver lining that you have seen of Mr. President? I mean, compared to what has been the case under your former party, the PDP, which you were part of, and the immediate past APC administration too?
Let me make this distinction. Like I was saying before, you brought me back to the same point. It was still part of what I was really now. That the APC before now was we had the exchange rate, so to say, which I call the super value of naira. There were several exchange rates that companies operating in Nigeria were not able to repatriate funds back home. The airlines were already shutting operations in the country because today you operate with and this when you want to rate your money back to your country, different exchange rates. So it took the president even go to Dubai, to talk them into allowing, promising them to stabilize the country so that there'll be confidence in the economy. That's ability for them to operate in a stable economy, and then they can repatriate their funds back home was guaranteed. So the economy was already in tatters before the coming in of this present administration. So I saw what the man is doing. Before now, I've always believed and liked the policies of I've always been a believer of the president right from his days in Lagos State. How he was able to transform Lagos State independently. Lagos State now lived in isolation from the entire Nigeria, where it is no longer dependent on the fact sharings, okay? Because I'm somebody who will always tell you that I would love a true fiscal federalism, where states will be allowed to function of their own. So the pilot scheme, so to say, was introduced in Lagos State. And you see what the Lagos State government did with their IGR, where their IGR rose to about 40-something billion monthly. So that state was a pilot scheme to show that if this president was able to demonstrate this with Lagos State nationwide, and to that, he has been doing it, coming out from a very deep hole. But today the story is different. When you compare where we were before, where ordinary airline, international airline, airline operators.
Well, we've lost connection with Chief Eric Ikwagu, and we're going to try to reconnect with them so we can get a better reception.
Together we can make Nigeria better. Oh, hey, one voice, one voice. We can make Nigeria better.
Nigerians, your voice is your power. The future you desire begins with your vote. Continuous voter registration is currently taking place nationwide. If you are 18 years and above and yet to register, if you need to transfer your registration, correct your details, or replace a missing PVC, this is your moment to act. Without a voter's card, your voice cannot be heard. Without registration, you cannot take part in shaping our democracy. Register now. Let your vote speak for you. Register today. Vote tomorrow. Secure our collective future. This message is supported by the Renewed Hope Partners.
Mommy, daddy, CC, baby, no make mistake today. It goes for your tomorrow.
Votes are only with your PVC, man. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, we have Chief Eric back on the line. You were actually explaining before that disruption. Go ahead, please, Chief Eric.
Okay, so I was saying that this president, because of the tough decision in removing the first subsidy, has saved Nigeria about 30 trillion naira. And those money saved, you can see in states. Instead of the president looking at his own political well-being, so to say, and building political capital, he didn't go creating a body that will manage it from the presidency, the subsidy savings. Rather, he plowed it back to the states. That is why you see state governments doing better. Before now, state governments were unable to pay salaries. Only like Rivers, Kanu, and Lagos were able to pay salaries. In fact, there was a time in this country that the federal government had to bail out state governments to be able to pay salary. So today, it has been taken for granted. In fact, no state governor who understands the quantum of money that they receive owing to this subsidy removal that can talk about salary payment. In fact, most states do not even rely on the 70,000 minimum wage. They have grown above that 70,000 because of the quantum of money they receive. So the infrastructural turnaround you see in states today. You see the federal government releasing infrastructure fund, giving a whole lot of funds to support, palliative to support the state government. That is owing to the savings from this subsidy. Again, backing up the naira, defending the naira. This federal government too has saved the country over 40 billion, means they would have used in backing up false value of the naira. Because of this liberalization, allow Nigeria naira to show, sorry, we're able to make these savings, and it is reflecting in the balance sheet of states. How well are the state governors doing with this money is another conversation. But when you look at a state like Enugu, you will understand the benefits of this subsidy removal to pour back to the state for the betterment and welfare and well-being of the state. So, with the quantum of resources, that is why I say the president patterned his economic policies with the success that is seconded in Lagos State, and it's been translated in what is happening in the general Nigerian context. And you see states doing better. No state talks about payment of salaries. Gratuities that were old for 40 years. Maybe Adam might not be the best example, but I use Ebonyi, I use Enugu, I use other states to say gratuities old 40 years and above, state governors were able to pay. And they now undertake projects that hitherto we are very big for state governors to handle. State governors are beginning to attack them. Heavy erosion control projects. Look at Enugu, what is happening there. They just added 3 fleets to their Enugu Air. So, because of the policy of this president, but look at the funny part of it. While the positive part of the subsidy removal is being enjoyed by this government, these state governors at the subnational level, they take all the credit. The president who takes this position, the bad part of it, because you need to break an egg to make omelette. So that difficult part of it is what the president is taking. And most state governors, instead of them to give credit to this man who has turned them to magicians, they want to, put back, reserve the credit for themselves, indirectly, call themselves superpowers. Before we know that if not for the quantum of resources available, just the last 3 quarters before now, other state government has 60 billion for the 3 quarters. And their salary exposure is about less than 16% of the total 60 billion. So you have a lot of money in the coffers of the government to perform and take care of the welfare. See, the welfare of the people is paramount in whatever thing you do. If you do infrastructure without the welfare of the people, you've not done anything.
Eric, we will get to the point, Chief Eric, we will get to the point where I would have you maybe assess the state government vis-a-vis the humongous sums coming from the FAC. But before we get to that point, the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu, has consistently advocated for political alignment between the Southeast and other geopolitical zones. How well can this actually help the Igbo cause, especially in discussions of high-profile positions in the political hemisphere?
Let me give it to the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu. I think he seems to be the strongest and clearest voice advocating for very sensible Southeast inclusion in today's national, social, economic, and political conversation. See, the Igbo man has played this politics of isolation far too long. And this young leader is talking about, reaching out, partnering with other regions. The Southeast alone cannot produce the president of the country. The Southeast alone cannot do it. So in his vision, as a man who sees beyond the immediate, who sees beyond his nose, he's talking about, handshake across the regions, partnering with other regions to be able to, be part of the national conversation. He's high on inclusivity. From his engagements, from the bills he has sponsored, like the Southeast Development Commission, which is a very wonderful bill. Just recently, the Vision 2050 meeting was held in Enugu, he was talking about the progress of the Southeast. If this leader hadn't, the courage to sponsor that bill that gave back to Southeast Development Commission, we wouldn't be having such wonderful meeting in Enugu that attracted the cream of the Igbo intelligentsia, businessmen, politicians, captains of industry, head of clergy, discussing the Igbo cause. So I give it to him. Once I saw that crowd in Enugu, I was like, that is the vision of somebody who doesn't see today, but tomorrow. For him to be able to sponsor this bill, because without that bill, we wouldn't be having that conversation. And the governors of the Southeast were there to make that presentation, and they keyed into this vision of this young leader. So, what is he talking about? A handshake across, the regions. The Southeast can't do it alone. This politics of isolation, we have played it far too long. It has not benefited us. The Yoruba man was able to play in the late President Buhari. He was the champion in the north. He was winning all the elections, 12 million votes in the north. But he wasn't able to get the spread, to dot majority, the spread, till he got into alignment with the Yorubas. They were able to produce that. Now, the Southeast must have to get into this bargaining table. They must have to be on this level too, by negotiating, being part of this broader conversation, being part of this, for tomorrow. We're not talking about today. The presidency is in the South. To what extent are we supporting it for us to be part of this conversation going on? So what this leader is talking about is getting the Igbo man in the conversation table. Today, nobody can wish away the voice of an Igbo man, of the Igbos. He's been there. He was able to bring up the voice of the Igbo, and we're able to talk about creation of extra states in the Southeast. This is equality. So I think he has tried so much. And we're talking about peace too. His peace in Southeast project too is yielding fruits. The governors of the Southeast they're coming together to talk about this. So the relative peace we enjoy, there is no place you have absolute peace, for Christ's sake. So but the relative peace we're enjoying today, the last ULETA, you see that the Southeast, they record much of security issues, because we are talking about integration now, cohesion, coming together to have a force, a unified force, where we can now present our own discussions on the table, our wants on the table, our needs on the table, and the other regions look at us as, okay, the Southeast is ready for this conversation. But if you are, still pushing for this politics of isolation, maybe because of the interest of one man, we must have to live beyond that level and say, this is the best time for the Igbo man to come to the center. This is the best time for the Igbo man to talk about regional reforms, to talk about, cohesion, national integration. And then we can talk about security, because where there is security, there is progress, there is inclusiveness. So what he's talking about is what we bring the Igbo man, the Southeast, on the conversation table. And with these two very serious establishments, the bill he has sponsored that gave back to the Southeast Development Commission, that made it possible for us to have Vision 2050. And then the Peace in Southeast project. These are very laudable projects. And has always been preaching cohesion. He has always been preaching, inclusiveness, and the conversation continues. So, and I think it has been momentum. People are beginning to listen.
Chiferi, you were a PDP loyalist in the past, and remembering that at some point the Southeasterners were backing the PDP. It was more like the toast on the bread when you talk about political parties in Nigeria. Despite all the backing of the PDP, at some point when things should have tilted the direction of the Southeasterners, it was botched, like a trend is botched. And then don't you think that the mental hemorrhage is what is affecting people aligning with this narrative of the deputy speaker, when they remember that in the past they weren't given their pride of place in the political discussions in this nation despite backing them? What is that? How do I describe it? What is that? How is it given that they are going to get it if they completely align with the APC and that of the Southwest at this time?
Will you, because a bank failed, run away from doing business with banks? You will not do that. So that the PDP didn't give the Southeasterners that massively supported them their pride of place is one thing. But then when you have a party that is being, in control of somebody like the Jagaban, who understands political patronage, who understands that, once you're part of this system, you're rewarded. Like I told you before now, I've followed his political trajectory right from the days of his time in the Senate and the governor of Lagos State. He has always believed in compensating those who, are part of building the process. Till today, you will see that the majority of people around him are folks who were with him right from the days as commissioners, as special aides, and as police oddly then, they were all part of the system and he is grooming them. Now you think if the Southeast is really invested in the re-election of this president, that because of his political dexterity and understanding of the game, he wouldn't give the Southeast their pride of praise. Let me even give you an instance with what the compensation he has given to Yes on Weekend. So he's a man whose word is his bond. He's not somebody who will tell you the part of this, and at the end of the day, once the deed is done, he will abandon you. He's not known for that. He's very meticulous in taking decisions. Till today, Wike is taking River State to where it should be. Like his politics or not, the president is, very faithful in keeping to promises. And he's telling the Southeast.
At the expense of people of River State, isn't it?
No, it's not correct. It's not correct. I say you may disagree with the style of Wike, but I'm talking about the person of the president now. I'm not talking about Wike as an individual, but the person of the president whose word is his bond. So I'm extrapolating that to the Southeast. And he's telling the Southeast, extend your hand of friendship, and I want to partner with you. And this is the reward you will get. Do you think such a president who is always faithful in keeping with promises will deny the Southeast what is due them? I don't think so. Even now, if you agree with me that the Southeast didn't vote him, we played this politics of isolation, put all our eggs in one basket, but still, there's still a window for us to expand that partnership and be, a bigger, and have a bigger stake in the conversation table. That is what the deputy speaker is talking about. That's what he's preaching. Politics is done with people. If you believe in a government and support that government massively, the government must, if you're dealing with a leader who has a conscience to understand that, yes, these people supported me, yes, it is an agreement, and I'm going to do the agreement. I used the Wike example. I used the people who work with him as a verifiable example to say that this president, once you live up to your own part of the bargain, he will definitely, he's not going to be like the PDP, where it got to the turn of the agreement and they started playing politics. You're dealing with a man. In fact, this is the first time Nigeria is having a politician who is the president. So with that, you will understand that he understands the game. And once it comes to the reward system, see, there is no political party that doesn't have, when they say he's rewarding only his party men, there is no political party in Nigeria that doesn't have men who can do the job. So within his party, he will select the best of the best, still within his party, still within the Southeast geopolitical zone. But what are we bringing to the table? Are we still going to play this isolation? When you go online, it is just our people who are insulting everybody. When you look through the social media, our people are embarrassing us everywhere. But then you try to, reorientate, educate our people to understand that it is not so. Let us leave emotion apart and look at Igbos are very beautiful business people. We've been able to do business across every area in Nigeria. Can't we replicate that in the partnership, political partnership the deputy speaker is talking about? You go to Bauchi, Kano, Igbo men are everywhere doing businesses. Now, can't we now use that our skill of doing business and translate that into political partnership where the Igbo man will have a bigger stake and demands? If you don't have a big stake in making a president or making a government, you don't have that that big right to make demands. So what the deputy speaker is saying, if we can do that collectively and bring our results to the table and say we are part of making this president return, be sure that himself and other leaders of the APC who love the Igbo race, who love the Igbo man, will do all what it takes. Even the much we have done. Look at the number of offices we've been given. You might not think is proper, but then, given the political atmosphere, and the deputy speaker is able to attract this number of offices to the southeast, we should give him that credit. We should even trust him the more to say, if we can do this from this position, we can do more when the Igbo man invests more in returning the president from 2027. So that is just what the way I see it. Why he said that the Igbo man must be thinking about coming to the center. Play it this time around. You may have been failed before, but you use how a man handles his 1 naira to know how he handles his 1 billion. Look at the people around him. You will see a mirror of a mini Abia. That's the kind of leader he is. There are leaders you will see only their families will surround them. So the deputy speaker is a different stock. He's a different politician. I think he is this kind of a person that believes in allowing people to grow. He's not interested in stopping people who are gifted. There are politicians, when you're too smart or when you speak your voice, they get threatened by your boldness or the much you know. But look around people around this deputy speaker. You understand that he's a man that fishes for the best of the best and allow them thrive. So with that, we can trust him. If you can be able to replicate it here, we believe and follow you to assist in bringing back this president. We will be on that table where things are shared. I will say, because we have been able to achieve this, we can make demands.
Okay.
That is what he's talking about. I think that is the right place to be.
Well, that is the prerogative of the electorate to decide who to vote for and who not to vote for. It is still Ben Kalu'S Mandate, and so far I've been having a chat with Chief Eric Ikwago, and in any moment now we're going to open the phone lines to have you join the conversation so you can share your thoughts with us. Just to remind you that we are live on Facebook, which offers you another window. Have opportunity to share your thoughts with us when you go to Facebook, facebook.com/Flow949FM, and drop your comment right there. And the phone lines to call in case you are reading to share your thoughts on the program is 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. The phone lines are already buzzing. But before we get to the phone lines, let me come back to you, Chief Eric. I mean, it's fair to say you've given your assessment of Mr. President and his policy, and it will be preposterous for me to take you back to ask that question again. However, given all the president has done, like you've highlighted on the program earlier, mentioning the fuel subsidy removal, the floating of the naira, the humongous sum coming to the subnationals following the assumption of the president, and some other things which you have, stated on the program. How much of an impact is it having on the states? And you were keen to avoid mentioning Abia State in the scheme of states that are looking transformed following the sums coming from the president, as you have stipulated. What's your assessment? Chief Eric? What's your assessment of the impact of those monies on the state subnationals and, of course, the local governments? Which Abia State has a case in point, by the way.
I have said it before now that governors now take it for granted that they are responsible to the salaries of people. It's taken for granted. No state governor comes out on television to brag, I pay salary. Before, it was an issue. Today, because of the quantum of resources that are available, even at the state, it's no longer an issue. But the issue is, what is the quality of the salary you pay? Some state governors, because of the quantum of resources available, moved their minimum wage to about 104. Now you see a level step one in Imo State receiving the same thing with a level 10 officer in Abia. So this is what I'm talking about. And when I'm talking about the sub-national, I am not limiting it to Abia. I'm generally saying that even when you look at states like Imo and Anambra, that had part of the first corner under Tinubu, Buhari, and now under Tinubu, you see that these governors are even beating their own records. So if governors can beat their own records, like Imamara and Nimo, when Soludo started, it was a lackluster performance. People laughed at him. People didn't know he would have been the miracle man he is today. The same thing with Hope Uzodinma. It wasn't like it is today. So the same governors under different regimes were able to transform themselves. So it is the policy. It is this quantum of money that they now have that has transformed the two governors into who they are. Now talk about the governors who came in with the president. So it is no gain talking about comparing them with governors of yesteryears who were cash-strapped, who didn't have enough money, who had to rely on federal government to give them loans, to give them palliative to be able to pay salary. Today, governors pay salary and give that bonuses beyond the 70,000 minimum wage. So what I'm saying in Abia is the governor of Abia is not really implementing the reform very well as intended by the federal government under the Tinubu. What I'm saying is take the welfare of the people and infrastructure should be paramount. But in Abia, you want us to believe that the welfare should take backseat while you are just paying 2003 leave allowance when every other state have cleared their leave allowance. All those gratuities that accrued over 40 years. In Abia, we are still priorities of paying their salary. There is no governor in Nigeria today that's talking about salary payment. As like I said, they take it for granted. So playing those kind of policies is reducing the effect that the intended effect reform is supposed to, introduce to the life of the people, making their welfare better.
Okay,
so
let's open the phone lines now. Chiferi.
Hello, Mr. Speaker, good morning.
The example for
Mr. Speaker, good morning.
Chiferi, thank you. I'll come back to you, but let's get the listener involved in the conversation.
Hello, Mr. Speaker, good morning.
I can hear you. If you don't mind, allow me to welcome
my
you.
brother.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you, Eric. Yeah, my name is Menard Bosman. I'm calling from Maruchuku local government area. I just want to ask your guests two questions. You just mentioned about the leave areas of 2023 being paid. Ask them, you serve under past administration. I mean, Eric, you go up with again.
Apostman, nobody on this conversation has been talking about the past. Our focus is on the current government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as well as his impact on the states, which is the subnationals and the local governments. That is what we are looking at. If you do not have anything aligned to what we are discussing, it will best you step aside some other person to join the conversation, please.
No problem. I want to talk about the issue of Abia State. I don't want to talk about national. I want to talk about the issue of Abia because I'm from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, you have been a journalist for years in Abia, and you know the condition of Abia before and the condition of Abia now. You know, the agenda they keep on going is that the federal government has removed subsidy, money has been flowing. He asked himself a question. How much was a bag of cement then? How much was a ordinary liter of fuel? How much was $1? I don't know. Are they checking about all those things? It's just all about money being floated, money not being floated. And so far as I'm still concerned in Abia State, our money under Dr. Lexoti is safe, and it's using the money to work on Abia. About the leave areas being paid in 2023.
Thank you, Apostman. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. No, it hasn't gotten to that, Chief Eric. When it's time, I'm sure I would cede the microphone to you and have you react to some of the things. Let's keep this conversation calm and civil. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Name and location, please. Go ahead, please.
I don't have much to say. I align myself with what just speak and then say. I align myself with what you say. They are the people that live in the state. They are the ones suffering it. They are the ones suffering. That's they are crying. That's why they are crying. It's not that our legislature is not doing well. It's doing well for some areas, but not in some areas. It's not doing well. We are the farmers in the state suffering. So I align myself with what Ben can say. Even the justice are there. I align myself with that. With that, 177 to make our choice. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. 0808-182-6949. Continue to thrive. 0808-182-6949 or 0811-605-2949. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, my brother.
Name and location, please.
Who the man know this name? I'm calling from. Good morning, Eric. Let me quickly talk on the reform. We are talking about the reform of Mr. President, which most Abians and Nigerians don't know, have not even acknowledged the impact, positive impact of this reform, because the governors are overshadowing the shine of Mr. President. As peradventure now in Abia State here, if fuel subsidy wasn't removed in Nigeria, maybe our government is receiving 4 billion. And somebody will talk about exchange rate and the bags of cement. A bag of cement was sold 6,000 naira in 2022-2023. 6,000 naira. Today it's sold over 10,000 naira or 10,500 naira. So even if you compare it, you find out that times 3 or times 4 of what previous administration. I have one publication this morning that they from their quarterly report that they got over 60 billion naira monthly, both Jack and Fact, and other money that entered into Abia's account. Are we still supposed to be talking about gratuities of these people? Are we still supposed to be talking about Abia workers, health workers that we are disengaged and brought by this government and brought back for 12 months now? They've not gotten their salary. Are we still talking about the discrepancies in salary payment in Abia State? These are the things. Go to other states and find out what is happening. They will tell you that they destroyed 30 years ago, 50 years ago. Yet, these people were among the people.
I appreciate you, Hussein Manode. I think you've been able to express yourself. Let's take another call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
That wisdom.
Good morning.
Good morning, our studio. This is Mr. Eze Nikalo, that good boy from Abia. You see, people have been talking about enormous money coming to Abia. We can't dispute that. Money is coming. But I used to tell people that there has never been a time much money seems to come to us. But one thing you have to know, as low far time value of money is time. The money allocation given to Dr. Ojozo Carlo, that of CA is greater than that of Ojozo. And the debt of Ipaso is greater than that of CA. And the CO's is greater than Ipaso. The person that is going to Lesoti, his allocation is going to be greater. But what matters most is the management of this fund. No matter how little the money is, how are you managing it? Are you utilizing it properly?
Okay.
That is the problem.
Okay.
What is why the problem has been having is
I
that
appreciate
our
you.
past elite have not been managing our fund properly.
Thank you
That
for
is
your
the problem. But we
contribution.
are happy today that our money is coming in a safe manner.
Thank you very much. I would appreciate if we do this thing collaboratively. Good morning. You are going to be my last caller. I hope you do not.
Excellent from Onimo.
All right, go ahead.
Tinubu is doing well by releasing that money. But if he cannot make use of local bread, my brother, if you are giving bakery, you still mess up the bakery. Thank God that opposition are saying that good things are happening in that state as a result of the money our governor president is giving. Because before now, they give money, they will share the money. They now see what is happening. Every those people that share the money now have joined the APC that said that what APC cannot do. There's not APC. They now will embrace APC. Happy with APC.
I have to let you go now. Thank you very much. Thank you. I have to allow you to go. Now I'm coming back to Chief Eric. Like I said, let's get your reaction in terms of what we have so far gotten as per calls. Before I cede the microphone to you, I think I want to, in one breath, take the comments on Facebook so you can react to that and withdraw the cutting on Ben Kalu'S Mandate, making way for our second major news bulletin for the day to come your way. The stuff is still buffering. Okay, this one is coming from Comrade or Para Teddy U. He said, in extending hand of fellowship, let your guests remember that Rocha Sokorocha and Ogbonna of the blessed memory asked Ndibo to support late Buhari to make it easier for Southeasterners to take presidency. What happened at last? PDP and APC have failed the Easterners. and other things that you said there, which I don't think is appropriate for the context of the program. Back to you now, Chief Eric. 2 minutes to react to the comments of most of urgent importance.
In proper context, before now, salary used to stick 86% of the total revenues, monthly revenue of state governors. 86%. Today, the governors receive 5 times what others used to receive, and the salary exposure takes about 14%. Now, do the math. You expend 86% before to pay salaries. You are left with, so when Ibazu receives about 4 or 5 billion, he spends 86%, meaning he will be left with less than 1 billion to work with. Today, Alex receives 60 billion and spends about less than 9 billion in paying salaries. Now he has over 50-something billion to work with. No matter the quantum of inflation, you can be able to do a whole lot. Now, if contracts in Niger is not overinflated, like the Port Harcourt road that they did a kilometer road for 6 billion, the governor would have had enough money to do diegetic infrastructure. I'm not talking about painting of roads. I'm talking about a governor that has received over 1.3 trillion. And I ask this question: if you remove the total salary exposure, we are talking about 900 billion that the governor should have used in bringing infrastructure turnaround in other states. Where can you point out and say this is a turnaround? When you see them run back to compare with past governments that depended on bailout funds, as a governor today that is receiving over 60 billion monthly, you now know that they are afraid to confront their contemporaries in other states because they have a lot to show. Enugu governor has gone beyond the type of what did former governors do, what did they not do. Today, you are sitting after paying salary. The governor will sit on over at least 49 billion. What is he doing? Contracts are not over exaggerated. If projects are not written away in their performance report that cannot be seen, we could have been able to see a lot of transformative, gigantic, momentum, gigantic, magnificent edifices and infrastructure in other. Painting of roads cannot consume over 900 billion for Christ's sake. Putting old street lights, they are good. But as in the context of the amount of money received, are they enough to justify a man who has received 1.3 trillion? That remains the question. And nobody is talking about if there's improvement. I told you before now that the governors of Imo and Anambra improved upon their record because of the subsidy removal policy of President Tinubu. Now, you're trying to compare a governor of today with governors of yesteryears that have to depend on bailout.
I appreciate.
These governors are spending lesser today to pay salary, and they pay salary in naira, not in dollars.
Okay.
So if the governor will remove over inflation of contract sum, we will be able to produce infrastructure people can see.
Let me sincerely appreciate you now.
1.3 trillion.
Thank you very much, Chief Eric Ikwagu, as my guest on the program, the former publicity secretary of the PDP, but now of the APC. Thank you for coming on Ben Kalu'S Mandate this morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate as well. Let me equally appreciate you, my listener, and for your contribution via the phone lines and the post on Facebook, the live feed on Facebook. I reserve appreciation as well for my producer, Samson Eze, including Chief Alvan Egono, not forgetting Stanko, who is behind the visuals you are seeing on Facebook. And I'm Wisdom Thomas stepping aside at this moment in order to allow our second major news bulletin for the day to come your way. Leave your dial on this frequency and have an amazing day ahead.
Introducing ABN Radio and Television, your new favorite app. Stay informed, entertained, and connected with the latest news, music, and videos from Nigeria and beyond. Download the ABN Radio and Television app now on Google Play and enjoy. Live streaming of news, sports, music, and entertainment programs. On-demand access to your favorite shows and podcasts. Breaking news updates and notifications. Exclusive videos and interviews. Personalized experience with customizable settings. Get started in 3 easy steps. Open Google Play Store on your device. Search for APN Radio/TV. Click install and start enjoying your new favorite app. Join the APN Radio/television community today and stay connected to what matters.